Never going to.
There you go. There you go. Get it in.
He's never going to, ever.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 The Zone. Welcome to the Morning Blitz with John Abraham, Captain Cool, and the Bandiman Bailey Lowery. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Captain Cool.
Hello and welcome in to the Morning Blitz. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman Bailey Lowery. And oh boy, Bandy, we got a lot of things to talk about. Of course, the Olympics is going on. We have to prep for a little bit of preseason football that you may not care too much about, but I, on the other hand, am very excited for. And on top of all of that, of course, well, it's the MLB trade deadline, and we will be talking a little bit of baseball with one Mr. Joe Hunk from 104.5 The Zone in Nashville. And all I got to say to that is, oh, yeah, as we're talking baseball. By Cody Bellinger. It's about like the one and only time we really talk about baseball, but we're definitely going to get into some of the deadline talk. Of course, we're going to see some players getting moved around a little bit, making a push for either the playoffs, the postseason, or teams that are kind of giving up on their season to try and re-up for 2025. So we will definitely be getting into some of the MLB talk for you guys for like the second or third time this summertime, which we probably should have talked a little bit more about. Bandy, I will say that that's my fault. We didn't talk too much baseball, but at the same time, we had so many other fun stories to get into. And now we're to the point where, well, we're back in the football season, and I am so happy I don't have to try and throw any of these stories at you from the baseball scene that I'm going to admit I'm not an expert at, all right? I'm not. I'll leave it to Tom. I'll leave it to The Drive. I'll leave it to Talking Paul, okay? I'll leave it to whoever else wants to talk about it. But maybe next year I'll get a little bit more into it. Maybe the postseason will bring my baseball hopes and dreams back up. Either way, you can also watch the show on WZZN TV over on our YouTube page. You can see my decent-looking face alongside Bandy's extremely good-looking face. And, of course, the rest of the amazing crew that we have on the WZZN network. On top of that, you guys are going to be able to call into the show, dictate what we get into for the first two segments of this show. 256-5764
97.7
is the number to call in, and we would love to hear what you guys have to throw at us here on a Tipsy Tuesday in no man's land. Now, if you don't want to throw anything at us, then we're going to have to throw some Olympics talk at you guys, because although, you know, a lot of people may be turned off by this year's Olympics thanks to that opening ceremony that you may or may not be offended by, I'm kind of with Chuck where it's like I'm supposed to be offended, but I didn't watch it, so at the end of the day, I'm just going to leave it to everybody else on Twitter to kind of be upset about it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're on the same page with me, Bandy. Either way, there was a lot of fun things to watch, and if you're just now hopping into the Olympics or you haven't watched any of the Olympics, some of the weird sports that are just like popping up on my YouTube have been the shooting competitions, surfing, which I have no idea how they judge. I even tried to surf for the first time a few weeks back, and honestly, those waves that they're hitting right now over in Paris, which I didn't know there were any, they're pretty large. They're pretty large. I don't know how they make them. They look fake whenever it comes down to it. Maybe they have a machine that pushes the water to make a amalgamation of water going into a wave that folds over on top of some of these surfers, and then they don't do any tricks like Kelly Slater. Kelly Slater used to do tricks. Bandy, I don't know why I'm not seeing enough tricks in my surfing in the Olympics.
They're going for efficiency now. There's no flair anymore.
That's upsetting. I like to see. I used to play a surfing game on my Game Boy. All right, and it was like Kelly Slater's Ultimate Surfer or whatever like that. And you were able to go up and do like tricks and stuff. Now it's like if you just get under the curvature of the wave, that's good enough. And if you make it look pretty, that's even better. On top of that, I watched a little bit of skateboarding.
Okay.
Interesting how they do it. It's definitely not the X Games type of skateboarding. It's not extreme, but it is pretty entertaining to watch just to see some of these guys, you know, throw out some of these trips the consistency by some of these skateboarders are it's quite impressive, I will say. It's quite impressive. At the end of the day, though, America is not the best when it comes to skateboarding. That actually goes to Japan, as they have 2 gold medals when it comes to that sport, and 1 silver medal. I don't know how many medals they gave out, but it was quite impressive, to say the least, that Japan was able to pick up 3 of them. America did get 1. It was pretty interesting. They got 2. They got 1 in the bronze and 1 in the silver, so that's good from that. They gave out so many for skateboarding. On top of that, I told you about the field hockey. Bandy, the rugby has gotten pretty fun. I saw that America did something big in rugby and females rugby last night. Do you have any more idea about that than I do? Because I didn't get to actually watch the game.
We took our independence back.
Oh,
again.
That's what I like to
taking
hear.
down Great Britain.
Oh, wonderful. It's a great storyline. I should have led the show with that right there. Either way, it was a pretty big victory. I think it was like 17-8, 17-5. I'm just throwing out a number that I think is close enough, Bandy. I'll put you on that one, and you can tell me a little bit more about that detail. But the big story actually came from men's gymnastics. And Tom, if you guys listened to his show yesterday, I was kind of just sitting down. I was working on some certain things during his show because I'm producing his show now. Just been a lot of fun and a lot of stress and a lot more phone calls from the big dog.
Welcome to the other side of the glass,
woo!
bud.
I love it, Bandy. It's a lot of fun, actually. But yeah, he was the entire time in the first segment, he was commentating about all this stuff that was going on in his TV that nobody could see. So I was just sitting here like, this is radio. All right, Tom? The number 1 rule of radio, paint the people a picture, give it to us. He was painting the picture, but at the same time, he was commentating on something that was going on right in front of him. I'm not dogging on the Tom. I think he does a great job. But the way that he kind of downplayed what happened in the gymnastics arena was a little bit upsetting because I only got to see it after the fact. I didn't have a TV in front of me when it was all going down. But we got to see some pretty impressive things. For the first time in 16 years, America does bring home a medal in men's gymnastics. Since 2008, they weren't able to bring anything back. But a few guys, Asher Hong, which I feel like he should be on the Chinese team. I don't understand that. Paul Judah, Brody Malone, I've heard that name plenty of times. Fred Richard, who has been kind of the superstar, Bandy, of this Olympics. You know, everybody kind of knows this guy's name. It's how it goes with the Olympics. And then on top of that, Steven Nadorsik, who was the guy wearing the glasses. And if you watched at the end and you heard Tom's show, he was just like downplaying it extensively. He was like, oh, this guy's on the pommel horse. I didn't even know what it was called, the pommel horse. And he was able to hit it perfectly to the point where he was able to secure his team, the USA, a bronze medal. Not win, but secure. And you know what? That was good enough right there. Bandy, who do we got on the hotline?
Oh, we got Jeremy on the hotline. What's going on, Jeremy?
I'm good. Hey, look, my new nickname now should be, after this phone call, King of the Segway.
Nice.
Because what I called about has nothing to do with the Olympics.
It's totally fine. Totally fine. Get me off of it.
My problem is this. Why are the Atlanta Braves bringing back Luke Jackson and Soler and getting rid of Tyler Matzik? Tyler Matzik should retire an Atlanta Brave because he is a dang Atlanta Brave hero. Yes, Soler is also an Atlanta Brave hero with a home run and all that stuff, but why are you going out and bringing him back when we've got a DH that is on fire?
No.
You finally got everybody back on the Ozuna, he's back on his bandwagon, and everybody pulling for him after all his off-field problems that everybody wanted him gone. You got, and then you bring back a guy that scares everybody to death every time he comes into a game.
Yeah.
I mean, he had just a brief run there where he was the answer.
Yeah.
He was doing good. But then before that, he's had more games where he walks into a game and you go, oh my God, we were up by 4. What happened?
Oh no.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I don't understand this move. I understand that I saw somebody post a thing that said, hey, well, why don't we just go ahead and bring Jock Peterson back? And I was like, that's pretty funny. But it's like, are we going for a World Series or are we going for nostalgia of a team that won a World Series?
No.
And it just blows my mind.
Hey, well, right now the way the Braves have been playing, it's like we're going for nostalgia.
Yeah.
we were 4 or 5 games ahead of the Mets, and we allowed them to catch up, and now we're only like half a game up right now.
Yeah, the Mets weren't even supposed to be good. The Mets just came out of nowhere.
No, I mean the Mets been playing well, but we should have been staying on top.
Well, the Mets had Grimace, and so he threw out a first pitch, and since that happened, they've turned him into the team mascot, and they've had a great run, and they owe it all to Grimace throwing out a first pitch. And, I think we need to get the Hamburglar to come out and throw a first pitch. Apparently,
Yeah.
It blows. I'm blown away by the decision to do what they did. I mean, it's like none of this helps. This isn't where we needed help for this team. There's more problems. I mean, over half the dang starting pitching is on the IL.
Yeah.
And then you got it seems like there's a different guy goes down every day, and it's just like, what are we doing here? I got a chance Sunday. I went down to Montgomery and had to play at the Renaissance Hotel, and I got there early enough that I walked over and was lucky that the Biscuits were on a rain delay, and they were playing the Mississippi Braves.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched about 3 or 4 innings, and I'm totally confused as to why some of those guys have not been called up yet, because they looked incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got some great pitching in the minors. Back in the day, that used to be where we pulled our pitchers from, and we homegrown our pitchers, and we pulled guys up. I mean, what's going on? I'm just trying to figure out what's going on right now.
Yeah.
With some of the decisions. Do we have a free agency coming up that we can make some moves? I mean, I know the trade deadline was
today.
done
Today at 6.
gone.
There's still time. It's at 6 today. So we're gonna find out some interesting things by the end of it all.
Yep.
I don't think the George Soler pick is that bad though. Picking him back up and bringing him to this team. I know where you're coming from. You want nostalgia, but at the same time, this is a guy that will bring an impact to a team, and he was bringing a slight impact to the Giants. But if he's able to meld with the Braves yet again, especially with the deficit that they have with all of their players getting injured, then you're able to get in a guy that is able to kind of pick up the team where it's been lacking and take them to a postseason run. Of course, this team is on track to make it.
It's like I'm with you, but we're doing that at the cost of sending a reliever when, hey, like Jeremy said, we're already down on pitchers. We can't really afford to give up anymore and be on the other end of a money dump by the Giants, because we're picking up Soler's contract.
Yeah. You are bringing in Luke Jackson. Okay, so you're losing a reliever, but you're also bringing in another reliever. All right, and I don't know if you want to throw out the same type of expert talent that this guy's got compared to, of course, Tyler Matzek. But I mean, you're still looking at this dude. You're like, you're gonna have to have a trade off. All right, it's gonna have to happen. And whether or not you like it or not, I mean, it's just something that the Braves feel like they need to do with all of these injuries that have come to this team to try and at least finish out the rest of the season. And why not go with a guy like Soler, who has shown that he was able to pick up where the Braves left off just a few years back?
And also, if you look at from the beginning of this season, one of the best acquiring that they had was Kit. Well, I can't say his name all that well, but he's been playing center field. Killick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done superb in his role and done great. He has stepped up. But if you look at the other signings, that we go back to that nostalgia, we brought Adam Duvall back, and then after we brought Adam Duvall back, a couple of weeks ago, we bring back Eddie Rosario.
Jeez.
So, the only guy missing is Jock Peterson. He's like the only guy missing from this whole thing. And so, by the end of the day, maybe we'll see Jock back in a Braves uniform. But, I mean, if we're doing this, why don't we go out and talk to Ron Gant and David Justice and see what they're doing? If they want to come back.
Get Freeman back on this team.
Yeah,
to see what they're doing.
Yeah, bring Freddie Freeman back. I mean, let's get back into discussions of dreaming about Shohei Ohtani.
Jeez.
I mean, it's amazing. I just wish Atlanta would go out. I hope by the end of this day that there's some resolve to our pitching issues that's going on that we've got, because that's the one thing that I've just looked at and I'm just like, golly, some of these guys, the bats finally caught fire, but the pitching got cold when the bats caught fire.
Yeah.
You know, we're sitting here knocking about 2 or 3 home runs and getting up 3, 4 runs, but yet the pitching was giving up. The pitching was giving up 8, 9 runs.
Yeah.
So, you know, Chris Sale can't do it by himself. He can't. I mean, he's doing a great job. This has been a great year. He could get comeback player of the year, but I don't think he will because I think Atlanta is going to ride him till he's just wore out to the end of the year.
And it's a dangerous game right there, too, because, I mean, the more that you wear down a pitcher, the more the chance that he's going to pull something as well. And I hate to even throw that out there, but that's kind of where we are in the MLB. You lose so many big-name guys that you try and replace them with your other big-name guys, and then, 2 weeks later, they're on the IR just right next to them. So it's definitely tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, guys, I haven't watched any of the Olympics, so
that's reasonable. It's reasonable.
And it's not even because of the fact that anything to do with the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with political anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like the Olympics. Like it's never been a thing that I went, oh heck yeah, the Olympics. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Last time I paid attention and had anything to do with the Olympics was when the Dream Team came along.
Well, I mean, shouldn't that get you kind of hyped up for this year then? I mean, we got a similar situation getting in all the top talent in the NBA.
I know we don't.
Not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the top talent in the NBA. It's the guys that make the most money, and that
It's a good take.
And plus, I haven't watched the NBA, and I couldn't tell you how long. And I should be excited because I used to be a Celtics fan. I should be excited this year. They won the World Championship.
No.
But I didn't watch any of it, and I don't know. There's just the draw, the appeal has just went away. Like, what happened to the days where you could go to McDonald's and upsize your meal and get a cup with Larry Bird on the side of it wearing that USA jersey? You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to have every one of those cups. I had 15 Charles Barkley cups because the Tallow McDonald's only had that. That's all they'd ever get is the Charles Barkley.
Well, they're just not promoting it the same. I will say that. They don't promote things the same.
Yeah, and it's to the point where I don't know. The NBA has done a horrible job at marketing their product.
Yep.
Back to the way that it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the bad thing about it. Major League Baseball is kind of going that same route.
Same thing. I was just about to say that.
I'm just at the point where I want to see MLB. It's like, I don't know. We go back to, they say we got tarnished when it was, we got tarnished because of the steroid era. And I'm like, what are you talking about? The steroid era is what brought Major League Baseball back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, it was on the brink then, and the steroid era is what brought it back.
No.
So, I'm not saying let them take steroids, but I'm saying
if they all take steroids, then it'll equel it out. Wouldn't that be the case? I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. I hold that opinion. Like, let him bring it back. I need the Mark McGuire's, the Barry Bondses, A-Rod when he was on it. I need all that back.
It's just a guessing
game. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Marcelo Ozuna?
Oh my God.
Okay, let's not imagine these guys on steroids. I feel like that's a bad take. Good stuff, Jeremy. We gotta hop into a break. I appreciate you calling in, brother. It's always good talking with you.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Golly, it's like, first off, we're pushing for the MLB pro steroids, and then we're saying, just imagine, what if Aaron Judge was on steroids, huh? He'd hit more home runs. It'd be entertaining.
Imagine Shohei.
Look, I don't know if the steroid situation's the problem here. I just think it's the way that baseball's been going on for so long. Some people are going to get off of it, and that's just how it is. We got to hop into a break because I'm going to get in trouble. Either way, when we come back, more sports talk on the other side here on the Morning Blitz.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa, starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A heat advisory will go into effect at noon today, lasting through 7 o'clock this evening. We're expected to see heat index values in the 100s this afternoon. You can expect to see mostly sunshine, high temperatures topping out in the low 90s. A few isolated showers and thunderstorms going to be possible mainly before lunchtime. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
College football.
The ball is caught. It is a touchdown.
Major League Baseball.
That ball is gone. A home run.
This is your place for complete sports coverage all year long. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello and welcome back to the Morning Blitz. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman Bailey Lowery.
Hey.
We got into a little bit of the fun conversation with the callers. Of course, Jeremy calling in, having a lot of fun talking about some trades that are going on in the MLB. Of course, the Braves, mainly, bringing in some talent to try and help out with their depth moving forward, as, of course, we see almost every single one of their top pieces thrown to the IR. But now we can look at other teams. Bandy, I know you have the list pulled up of the teams that are throwing around trades right now. Of course, the big teams that are kind of in question about players getting thrown around, whether they're shopping, whether they're buying, going to be a lot of the White Sox. The Cubs are somewhere in there. The Dodgers are always buying. They're always shopping. All right. They're always, I guess they're always shopping. They're never really selling. But Bandy, got to throw out what you're seeing right now.
I mean, with the Braves, they need some pitching talent.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of them going to the IR, and actually a team you didn't bring up that is not shopping around. I got it mixed up this time. Yeah. Selling this time. It's actually the Detroit Tigers.
Okay.
With Jack, I'm going to mess up this name badly.
You're good.
Jack Flaherty? Flaherty?
Yeah.
Flaherty?
Go with it.
Flaherty?
You just got to be confident with it.
By the way, but Detroit gave him a 1-year, $14 million contract, and he's actually a free agent right now. I mean, he's 7-5, 2.95 ERA. Could be a little bit better, but 133 strikeouts this year and just 19 walks in 106 innings. I mean, right now, that could be a good piece for the Braves to pick up if they go after another pitcher.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And another one that's been thrown around, another name that's been thrown around is Blake Snell. He's a guy that was picked up a little bit late by the Giants just last year or this past year offseason. And now we're seeing, a lot of talk about him, what team he's going to fly onto. And again, for the Braves, I mean, this is a team we look at in the preseason and we see just nonstop talent in that pitching room. It's just keeping some of these arms, healthy. That's the one thing that they have a problem with, and it's because they rely on these 4 or 5 guys to just keep pitching the way that they do in a week rotation, and it sometimes gets to the point where, I mean, it's a little overbearing for them. Now later in the season, we're getting to see a little bit more of the depth, thanks to, of course, these injuries. Not thanks to, but because of these injuries.
Yeah,
and even those guys. Yeah. And even those guys are getting injured now. So I've talked about it before, Bandy, on the show. There's an epidemic that's going on with a lot of these pitchers in the MLB where they're kind of being pushed to throw faster, throw more consistent at that speed. And of course, with the pitch clock, that's not helping it at all. So the constant wear and tear to these arms is going to lead to pitchers that aren't able to play in the sport as long as we used to see them back in the day. And that's why we also see guys go, 5-6 innings max, and then they're switched in and out for other dudes for like the next, 5 innings. There's like 3 different pitchers. So it's just kind of how the well goes, I would say, in the MLB. Now, there's going to be more teams that are going to be moving around some guys. One team that's kind of interesting right now is the Tampa Bay Rays, Bandy. And this is a team that has been able to make the postseason for the last 5 years. They've been looking really good. Even last year, they had a pretty impressive winning streak right off the bat. But now it's to the point where this team's kind of feeling the impact of having some of these top-level players. And now they kind of got to move them around because they're not still seeing the same results that they were seeing just last year. Kind of look for, this Rays team and what we might be seeing them move around now. Bandy's just like, okay, I wasn't listening to a word you said. It's totally fine. Bandy.
I was getting the info dump. I mean, we got tiers and tiers of players. I mean, I kind of like the way this is set up. Like tier 1, most likely to be traded. Tier 2, least likely to be traded.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the Braves, it really does come down to that pitching.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine. But we'll talk more about this trade deadline thing in the next segment. All right.
Yeah. I mean, when we got Joe Hunk on, but right now, I mean, a lot of teams looking to shop, looking to sell. And I mean, like you brought up the Dodgers, I mean, God, with no salary cap in the MLB. I mean, a lot of these teams just shopping around. Yeah. And I mean, actually one of them that I don't know if the Braves are looking at him per se, but from the Giants, even though they're playing incredibly well and they just gave a piece back to the Braves on top of a $26 million contract. I mean, Blake Snell's still there. He's got the player option for 2025, but I mean, really, they could use all the help. The Braves could use all the help they could get.
Yeah. If they can grab Snell, that'd be huge. But again, that is a lot of teams are going to be looking at him to try and bring in, and that's even if the Giants want to throw him at somebody. But either way, we're going to get into a little bit more of this conversation, a little bit better of the conversation with Joe Hunk, because he knows a little bit more than we do when it comes to the MLB. This is what you get. I'm looking at you, Tom. I'm looking at you. Either way, when we come back, more MLB talk on the other side here on the Morning Blitz.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This summer, make it a Woody Anderson Ford. Make it 0% financing, make it no down payment, and make no payments for 90 days. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. It's our Ford Summer Sales event, and I promise you can save serious dollars on a large selection of our 2024 Fords. We've got financing as low as 0% for 36 months on 2024 F-150, Explorer, Expedition, Edge, Escape, plus all-electric F-150 Lightning and Mustang Mach-E. And on all these Fords I just mentioned, you'll make no down payment and no payments for 90 days. Can you say Orange Beach, here we come? This is going to be a good summer. Come choose from over 550 new Fords, and you'll learn firsthand that nobody will work harder to earn your business. Brand new, award-winning Fords with 0% financing, no down payment, and no payment for 90 days with your good credit. This offer ends 9/3/24. Come see us today and make it a Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A heat advisory will go into effect at noon today, lasting through 7 o'clock this evening. We're expected to see heat index values in the 100s this afternoon. You can expect to see mostly sunshine, high temperatures topping out in the low 90s. A few isolated showers and thunderstorms going to be possible mainly before lunchtime. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello and welcome back into the morning of Blitz. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman and Bailey Lowery. We appreciate you guys joining in for an hour straight of sports talk. Now, last segment was a little bit rocky. I was going to hop into a little bit more football news, but since the trade deadline is such a big deal, we got to talk a little bit more about it. And of course, now we get to get on a guy that is like an encyclopedia when it comes to all different types of sports. So that's one Mr. Joe Hunk from 104.5 The Zone in at Nashville. But before we get him on, I'd like to remind you that this show is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Similar to our guest, Joe Hunk from 104.5 The Zone. Joe, how are you doing today, man?
I am doing well. I am in the city of Athens.
Okay.
Right now, as a matter of fact.
Very nice. I was actually there just the other night. I did a wedding out there. It was very fun. But now I'm back in Huntsville, and we got a lot of baseball to talk about today. And I want to hop into it. And you're the guy to get into it with. What are some of the big storylines that you're keeping an eye on this trade deadline before 6 o'clock today when it comes crashing down to an end?
Oh, wow. You made it just sound like Hulk Hogan was coming to town as it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
There you go.
Yeah, no, it's the whole thing about the Braves getting the band back together is really kind of a fun story in a way, but also you have to remember the reason and that this is happening. No. All right. So I know that I was listening a minute ago and I know you had a caller call in that was talking about the Braves and some of the issues that they were having in it. Yes, I think that a lot of Braves fans would like to see the Braves get starting pitching. And yes, you have Crochet that is out there and he is wanting to be traded to a contender. He does not want to go into the bullpen and he wants a long-term extension. So those are some of the things that you want to look at about if the Braves are willing to do that and send some players to the White Sox. So, I honestly, one of the players that I absolutely love that the White Sox had, and I hate the fact that he's heading to Los Angeles, is Michael Kopech. Like, I absolutely loved him. I think he has, and he's honestly kind of moved into that role with the Chicago White Sox, that late inning bullpen guy that could potentially have a lot of great stuff as a closer. Seeing him go to LA sucks. because I really grew to love him as a pitcher, especially when he was in Birmingham and I was in Birmingham and he was pitching for the Barons. So that's one that's really got. But again, look, the whole idea of bringing Adam Duvall back and bringing Jorge Soler, and I know they had Eddie Rosario just come back as well. All of these guys, the strategy hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting every single one of these guys and bringing them back to do exactly what they did in 2021, and that is replicate Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yeah,
that is it. That's the whole plan, and all three of them have shown signs of being able to do it. Now, none of the three have the speed aspect of this, which Eddie Rosario is the closest to that, but what you're trying to do is you're still trying to replace Ronald Acuna Jr., which let's not act like him getting injured did not hurt this Braves team. The offense went away the moment that he went away. Like, this is how this whole thing was going. The Braves were rolling for a long period of time this regular season. It's just that the Phillies have been playing amazing baseball all year long.
Yeah.
And that's why the Braves are not in first place. So bringing Jorge Soler back is to do simply one thing: swing as hard as you can and hit the ball as far as you can. Because that's what Jorge Soler does.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
That is exactly what he does. Okay? Again, the man was the World Series MVP because he hit a baseball from Houston to California. Like, it was amazing. And no Brave will ever forget that. And he can still do it. I want to say maybe 3 games ago, or maybe it was even last week, I think he hit like a 470-foot home run. Like, the guy still mashes. And that's all the Braves want him to do: step in the batter's box and hit the ball as far as you can.
Yeah, and I like the way that you put that. I mean, bringing a guy back, of course, he's a little bit more aged than he was in 2021, but it's not that big of a difference. He gets a little bit of time with another team. You bring him back, and now you can maybe see the bats start rolling again. But, I mean, you talked about a little bit of that pitching side, and you don't have to talk specifically about what the Braves are going to do at that position, but kind of just talk about some of the top pitchers that are kind of on the move or possibly going to be moving. One of them that comes to mind to me is Blake Snell.
Well, and Blake Snell at the Giants was the one I was going to bring up because that's, look, he's a pitcher that can absolutely go in through the depth of the pitching rotation. If you're looking for a new number one, then you're going to have to go with Crochet. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the deal that you would have to go with. The problem with making a deal like that is a player like Nacho Alvarez, who the Braves just called up a couple of days ago. It's going to take a couple of players of that magnitude being your top prospects to bring in a guy like Crochet. And then at the other side of it, you're going to have to figure out, are you going to give him this long-term deal that he is going to be seeking? Because, yes, the Braves are in the midst of doing that. But, when you look at that, you also are looking at your Max Fried. You got to figure out if and what Ian Anderson is going to be, because he's down in AAA right now rehabbing and pitching. So, the thought for the Braves is, are they going to take a risk and make a trade before 6 o'clock tonight where they're going to boast that pitching rotation? Or are they going to have some hopes that a guy like Max Fried is going to be able to come back and solidify this pitching rotation? Because you're not getting Strider back this year. Yeah. Like, you're just not. So if you sign Crochet, then it's going to be a long-term deal where you're going to want to put him with Fried, with Strider, and then hope that an Ian Anderson or Charlie Morton can finish off the back end of that rotation. And you also still have Lopez, because let's not act like Lopez wasn't an all-star this year.
Mm-hmm. Is this the point of the season where we double down on hating the Dodgers? I just have a question for that. Just kind of go where you need to with it.
No, we absolutely have to. And the only reason is because they are the new New York Yankees. Like, they just are. And the Yankees aren't making these crazy decisions like they have been in the past. And obviously it's been since George Steinbrenner passed away that they stopped making these outlandish, idiotic trades and signings in which the Yankees have. Look, guys, I've hated the Yankees with a passion since Jim Leyritz hit a home run in Game 4 of the '96 World Series. Like, I have loathed them with a passion. The problem is there's players on that team historically that I have liked. Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, those types of players. Jorge obviously playing here in Huntsville when he was playing JUCO for Calhoun. And look, there are certain players that way. the Yankees aren't as hateable now. Like, they're really a fun team to watch.
No doubt.
And they're not really doing it the same way that the old Yankees have. Like, this is a fun Yankee team to watch. I find myself, because obviously none of us can watch the Atlanta Braves anymore because, blackouts and Valley Sports suck.
Yep.
That you can't watch locals. So whenever you turn on like the MLB Extra Innings or MLB TV, like I find myself going and watching the Yankees play because they are a fun team to watch. The Dodgers can just burn in a land of 1,000 suns. Like they just can't.
Yeah.
And it sucks too because Shohei is a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie Freeman, we obviously love because of his history with Atlanta. And there are players, Mookie Betts, as I'm driving to Nashville right now, the whole city of Nashville loves because of Mookie Betts. It's just the whole Dodger philosophy of continuing to buy players because you want this world championship. It's proving that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And, as many times as the Dodgers can get to the NLCS and everything, like it doesn't work. And, I know that Tom and I talked a lot about the Dodgers and winning the 2020 World Series. It was a COVID-shortened season. They only played 60 games. It was a sprint the whole time. Those were the scenarios with that Dodger team. But they still haven't won it in a full season. And they haven't won it when everybody is playing at full strength and players haven't opted out. And until they do, you absolutely have to question this team. And you have to also hate the fact that they are always going to say, heck yeah, we'll pay that player money. Sure, why not? Because that's what they do. They've done it and they continue to do it. The only problem is they've got a lot of great contracts, but they only have one trophy that's sitting in their trophy closet in the last 20 years. And it was during a COVID year.
Yep. Don't you love it? Joe Hunk from 1045 The Zone is our guest. It really is kind of apparent how forced the Dodgers are when it comes to bringing in some of these talents. But whenever I look at the Yankees nowadays, of course, they've got some of that top-tier talent. But they're also bringing in guys. One dude named Jazz, he's hitting 2 home runs in his first few games. I mean, it's just like these random dudes they're picking out of random squads that are just going the yard.
First off, the first thing is about Jazz Chisholm is the Miami Marlins are the best place in the world when it comes to finding talent. Okay, if you look back and just randomly pull it up, and Bandy, as I'm talking about this, pull up the roster for the 2017 Miami Marlins. Just pull that up, and I want you to go through that list here in just a second.
Oh boy.
But the Marlins have always proven to have fantastic talent. They just never have the ability to put it together. See, that's the part with the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the ones that are spending all this money, but what was the last team to play in the World Series from the National League? They were from the NL West, and they weren't the Dodgers or the Giants or the Rockies. It was the Arizona Diamondbacks, who don't have that high of a payroll. Yeah. And in fact, if you go play as them right now on MLB The Show, I think they may have one diamond. Like they barely have any talent. It's about team chemistry.
Yeah.
That goes back to what happened with Atlanta in 2021 and these guys that they're bringing back. It was all about chemistry and getting hot at the right time. And those guys from that season bonded together and won. That's what it's about, especially in this new era of baseball where you have an extra round of the playoffs. It is about a team that is going to be hot at the right time. So the Braves right now making these deals, they now have 2 months. And they specifically need to be hot from about September 15th on. That's when they need to be hot because those are the teams that win the World Series. And so as I've been talking, the 2017 Miami Marlins, do you have that roster pulled up?
I got it pulled up.
All right. Can you go through that roster for me and just listen to these names?
All right. So for the infielders, we got Brian Anderson, Mike Aviles, Justin Bohr, Christian Colon, Derek Dietrich. I can't pronounce this one. Aideni Hechavarria?
Yeah, Hechavarria.
Okay. Yep. Steve Lombardozzi, Tyler Moore, Martin Prado, JT Riddle, Miguel Rojas, and D. Strange Gordon.
You're looking at the wrong area. I look at the old outfielders right now.
Outfielders? Yeah. Marcelo Zuna, Giancarlo Stanton, Christian Yelich, and Ichiro.
Ichiro is a veteran, of course, but still.
Yeah. No, look, and the only one of that infield that you're talking about was D. Gordon. Like, that was the important one, was D. Gordon with him. But the outfield, look, here's the thing. Again, looking at the 2017 team, A.T. Real Muto, he's now playing for the Philadelphia Phillies, who's one of the hottest teams in baseball. You had the D. Gordon, which D. Gordon, I guess D. Strange Gordon is what he eventually changed his name to. But D. Gordon used to be one of the fastest players in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
Okay, and Dietrich, okay. But that outfield, Ozuna, Yelich, Stanton, Ichiro, all of those players you can look at and go, oh my heavens,
yeah,
this was that team. But then, and then you go and you look at all these other players like they're pitching, like A.J. Ramos that they had coming out of the bullpen, and those types of players, like those guys, all of these players were on that 2017 Marlins team, yet they couldn't win crap.
Yeah,
they couldn't
break 500.
It reminds me of the Wizards in the NBA. Like, if you want to get some more talent on your team, you just pick up a Wizards role player.
Yes, because look, all this is, especially look at that outfield. You have Ozuna right now, who's one of the biggest home run hitters in baseball. Mm-hmm. You have Christian Yelich, who went to the Milwaukee Brewers and has won MVP awards and has been one of the best players in baseball. And Carlos Stanton, if Giancarlo Stanton could at least stay healthy, he would be one of the premier players in baseball. The problem is he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's one of the biggest critiques of him in his career. He hit 60 home runs, but the man cannot stay healthy in New York to save his life, where he could be the potential piece to help that team win a World Series. And he can't stay healthy even at the DH position.
Totally agree with you. Good stuff, Joe. Wanted to talk a little bit of Dr. Doom, but I guess we'll have to wait until maybe later this week. We might have to get you on a second time. Who knows?
You say that all the time, and it never happens. So what I'm going to tell you is this is one thing that Coach Mack always tells me. Dave McGinnis, that I was hanging out with him the other day at practice, and he always says this. He looks at me and he says, keep your powder dry, okay? What that means is initial reactions. How about we don't freak out over one person being Dr. Doom? Because as you can tell, he's being called Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
If you pay attention to the comics, there is a point in this where Tony Stark becomes Dr. Doom.
It's a totally different universe altogether. That's what I'm all for whenever it comes to Marvel. Yeah. Lean into the ridiculousness.
And also, by the way, Deadpool and Wolverine, greatest movie ever made. If you've never seen it, don't spoil it.
It was so good.
What? Okay.
Do not. Look,
right.
This is the thing about 2024 and every time, like, there are so many hidden cameos. There are so many Easter eggs. There are so many things about this movie that every little person that wants to spoil every little bitty piece of it totally takes away from the whole story. So do not give out any spoilers. All I'm saying, Deadpool, Wolverine, one of the greatest Marvel movies ever to be created.
I gotta go and watch it. Appreciate you hopping on with us, Joe. Can't wait to get you on possibly later on this week just to talk straight up Marvel movies and all that good stuff.
All right, I'll be around. I'll have fun with it.
Okay, all right. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Be safe.
Bye. Love you.
Love you. Yeah. Joe Hunk, 104.5 The Zone in Nashville. Make sure you guys go and check out his work on social media in Nashville, all that stuff. You can find him at Joe Hunk. We got to hop into a break. When we come back, a little bit of fun stuff. Bandy's giving me one of the fingers. That means he's got something on his mind.
We need to talk about a rule change.
Oh, yeah, we do. I meant to talk about that yesterday. That's what's coming up here on the Morning Blitz.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio and have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
Yo, Bandy, I heard somebody said something about rule changes. Please tell me you're talking about what I think you're talking about, and not the MLB, because I'm not talking about it.
We're talking about the NFL rule change.
Okay, good. All right, good. If you guys want more MLB talk, look forward to the Tom Abraham show. I bet you he's going to talk nonstop about it, all right? But I want to look into the NFL just a little bit. Of course, we do have some football to look forward to. The Bears, the Texans, who's going to play? Probably none of the studs that we want to see play, but that's totally fine because we will get to see at least the new semblance of the NFL, what it's going to be. And if you are questioning what we're going to be talking about, we've already told you about the kickoff and how it's going to be different. It is going to be very different, all right? It's going to be so different. There's going to be a kickoff at I believe it's the 35-yard line. And, of course, the players are going to line up at the 40, and then the return team is going to line up at the 35, and then the returners are going to lay in between the 20 and the end zone, all right?
Yep.
There's a few fun things about that. If it gets kicked and the player catches it and their foot is touching the 20.5-yard mark, it's out of bounds. That means they go up to the 40-yard line. The same way if it gets kicked out of bounds. On top of that, there has been a new rule to where 12 players are going to be allowed on the field at one time. And if you're like, oh, that's crazy. Football is not the same. You're damn right. It's not the same.
I wasn't even talking about that rule change. We got the onside kick rule change.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. Well, let me tell them about the 12 players now. All right. Don't worry. The 12th player can't do anything. He can't even pass the 50-yard line. All right. He's going to be holding the ball if it's a little too windy for the kicker. Because, of course, refs break their ankles whenever they try and do it or anything like that. So they're going to be able to get off the field in time before the return comes their way. Put an athletic player right there. Be done with it. But Bandy brought up an interesting story. We got the onside kick rules. And, of course, you're not going to just be able to do an onside kick with this type of kickoff style because everybody's lined up super far away from the kicker.
Yeah.
So, Bandy, what's going on?
I like these kind of days. It's like patch notes for the NFL. But they're not allowed before the fourth quarter anymore.
Yeah.
They're not allowed before the fourth quarter. Only the losing team can do it, which, I mean, that's kind of like whatever. I mean, that's kind of a case anyway.
I think it's lame.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the case anyway. Like, if you were behind, like, you got a quick score, and then you want the onside kid to get possession back, that's just kind of whatever.
I want freedom in my football, Bandy.
But you have to announce it now before you do it.
Yeah, you got to announce it. That means what we saw in the Super Bowl back in 2010, 2011, Saints versus the Colts, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning going up against each other. And the Colts were receiving the ball going into the second. The Saints decided to do a sneaky little onside kick. We loved it. Everybody went crazy.
It was awesome.
They got the ball, and they were able to go down the field, score a touchdown, and rejuvenate their team to win the Super Bowl. It was huge. That is not a thing anymore. Cannot do it. I don't know. I want your guys' opinions on it. Can't be today. It'll have to be tomorrow. And also maybe during the Tom Abraham show. Just bombard it with football talk instead of baseball talk if you guys want. I'll be over there. For me and the Bandiman, we're out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Look forward to Tom Abraham and The Drive later tonight. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors all take